for Newcastle since last season, but this game today he really struggled. He really struggled. If you remember, he had committed an offense before that the referee overlooked, and he still got the second one. So yeah, it's good you mentioned him. Dambon is a player that, looking back, everybody's like, wow, where did he come from? Because he's 33 already. So in the last 4 years, nobody are talking about Dambon. All of a sudden, since a season or 2 seasons ago, just burst into limelight, and he's even in the international national team.
Watch Spurs TV right now.
Tottenham 2, Manchester United 2. This was another big game going into the weekend, and one would have thought that it was going to set the tone for the weekend. It was the first game of this weekend of March week 11 in Premier League. But I don't know, Rhoda, if you're going to agree with me. That game did not live up to expectation, or maybe until the last minutes of the match. Tottenham now, in the last 5 games, they have just 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. And Manchester United, on the other hand, in the last 5 games, they have 3 wins and 2 draws. They've not lost in 5 games, which is a new record for United under Amorim. And of course, they took. Tottenham took, was it Man United that scored first, and Tottenham equalized and then went 2-1?
Yeah, it was Manchester United that scored first.
Yeah, Tottenham getting their second goal at I think it was 84th minute, and Charleston thought that he had won the game for Tottenham, and almost last kick of the game, Delete, who for me was more of the match for Manchester United's side. I don't know the overall game, but for United, he was their best player in that game yesterday. Got the header that gave them the equalizer, and that game ended 2-2. Ryan Mbemo opened the scoring. Yes, I remember very well. And I see a Tottenham team, though they are high up there in the table, but it's a team that is looking very, very, very not fine in the eye to watch at the moment. I know they have a lot of injuries to their forward players, but Tottenham is not looking good at all. I don't know, what was your take on that game?
I agree with you. Both teams, they are nothing to write home about.
So what exactly was lacking in those two teams? Looking at that game yesterday, what were you thinking when you were watching the game with regards to, if you were to be a United fan or Tottenham fan, what would you be expecting those coaches to change from the team?
I think Tottenham is a bit better than my Manchester United, but with the results, I think everybody will say the same thing. Maybe both manager has to up their tactics or something, because coming to Manchester United, then I think that was before this guy got injured, Sesko.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, he was very, very slow. I don't know. He was slow
he
to me.
He didn't even start the game. He came in as a sub, and
he came as a sub.
Yeah,
yes, he came as a sub. The guy is very, very. I think if he actually try and be more fast, he would have get the early goal for United. The one my Delete later scored.
Yeah.
He would have been the one that scored that goal before getting injured. But it was so slow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes, let's have a rundown of the other results for the weekend. But let's look at a little bit on this game today. Aston Villa beating Bournemouth. Another big game, considering what the table has been saying so far this season. Bournemouth losing away to Aston Villa 4-0, and it was a very emphatic win for Villa. Villa have now won. I think how many games straight? I think it's 5 straight games now in EPL. They've been winning as well in the Champions League. Bournemouth has the first 9 games of the season or 8 games of the season, they were flying high. You remember 2 weeks ago, they were second on the table behind Arsenal. And everybody was saying that Bournemouth was going to be this and that. I remember last weekend, they lost to Man City, doing exactly what they did in this game that I identified. So I don't know what has changed for Aston Villa compared to the way they started this season.
I'm not really sure about them though, but I think maybe those players they are tired or something because they are not putting the same performance they have been putting on from the beginning of the season. Like even this guy, this Ghanaian, what's that his name again?
Cameroon,
Semenyo.
Cameroon.
Yes, Semenyo. I think that guy he needs to up his game too because this is not how he started the season.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, watching their game today and what they did against City, I think it was exactly the same that they did today. And if you play against these coaches who understand how to read teams, they will finger it out. Just like Liverpool, Bournemouth do always try to go for high press. They commit 4 or 5 players to press you, hunt you down, win the balls up, high the pitch, and get their goals. But unfortunately for them, Villa are a team that play from behind, and they have been trying to master the art of playing through the press. And if you go on high press like that with 5 players and they're able to play through you, he opens gap everywhere in the midfield and behind your back. And that's exactly what Villa did today. So, and while people were praising Bournemouth, I was saying it, and I've been saying it a lot of times. In EPL, if you are not a big team, there are some things you don't involve yourself with. You can play good football, but staying compact is always going to be the secret because they don't have a lot of depth in their squad. So try to have a little bit of structure. Don't be too confident of yourself to approach games. You're not going to go to Villa and open yourself up and expect to win. Though if Semenyo had, like you mentioned, has got that goal penalty scored, I think it was 2-0 at that point. It would have been a 2-1 score. Maybe they would have found some momentum to get equalize that ball. But once he missed that penalty, just from there, straight up, Aston Villa got the third goal, and the rest became history. Only Watkins, I think he was man of the match, though he didn't score any goal today, but his work rate. And last weekend, I really, really criticized him about his attitude. His work ethic last weekend was very shocking. But today, it looks like the coach, it looks like Emery really spoke to him, and he looked different today and helped the team to get this result. Another thing that also affected the Bournemouth today was they were not clinical at all. They also created chances. They had chances, but they just couldn't take their chances. And that's what happens at this level. If you don't take your chances, if you're not clinical, you will get punished. And that's just how it is. So do you think Aston Villa from here are going to kick on with this season? And why do you think so?
Yeah, I think if they keep on with this kind of same performance they put on tonight, I think they will play their match earlier today. I think if they keep on with this performance, they will definitely come up on like how they start the season.
Yeah, another game today that was very interesting was Brentford playing at home against Newcastle. Newcastle now, in 9 games, they've not won in 9 games in all competition. They have had a few draws, but they've been losing games all over the place. Today, Brentford beat them 3-1, and Newcastle scored first. And
Yeah.
I don't know, even with there was a very blatant penalty for Brighton today that was cancelled, though they eventually got a second one and got the goal. Thiago, their striker. I used to like, he used to really work me up because he's not. I don't feel he's a clinical striker, but in the last few games he has stepped up. And Brentford, with losing their manager, losing their, I think three of their key players, Ouattara, Wissa, and Mbemo, they are still doing bits. But the thing is that they've mastered the art of playing long and direct. And this is what I'm saying about teams that are not one of the big teams in EPL. You need to figure out what works for you and what is best for you as a squad and as a team and use it. And that's what Brentford did today. On the other hand, Newcastle, I know we spoke about them last week. There's something about them that is lethargic. And one of my biggest issues with Newcastle was used to be that I think they just want to be physical. They try to bully teams. Once they're able to bully you, they get their goals and win games. But it looks like teams are beginning to match them physically, and they've got nothing else to offer. I don't know what your take is on Newcastle and this Brentford game today.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Like this red card that Bond gets today, it was so unnecessary. I don't know. You already know you are inside the box 18. Why are you committing a foul on a player that you know that this thing will affect your team if you definitely do it? But I don't know how these players think sometimes. But they are trying to be physical every time. Always, that's what they always do.
Yeah, Dambon, he has been a top performer for Newcastle since last season. But this game today, he really struggled. He really struggled. If you remember, he had committed an offense before that the referee overlooked, and he still got the second one. So yeah, it's good you mentioned him. Dambon is a player that, looking back, everybody's like, wow, where did he come from? Because he's 33 already. So in the last 4 years, somebody I'm talking about Dambon, all of a sudden, since a season or 2 seasons ago, just burst into limelight, and he's even in the international national team. So, but today, just like most of the Newcastle players as well, he looked a little bit lethargic, a little bit tired. They look indecisive, like they're unsure of themselves. The House needs to figure this out quickly, because the owners of that club, they invested a lot of money in that team, and they expect him to be competing at the highest level. It's okay to be in Champions League, but you need to do better in the league and consistently as well. 9 games not winning anyone is not a good place to be. So the result for the weekend is like we said, Tottenham and Manchester United started the week with a 2-2 draw. Everton beat Fulham at home. Fulham is another team that has been struggling seriously this season, and if they don't take time, they're going to, if they're not already in the relegation battle, they're going to soon, find themselves battling for survival in EPL, and that's not going to look good at all at Marco Silva. They have been very steady on the EPL for a few seasons now. All of a sudden, this season, it's only been going well for them. And you have West Ham beating Burnley 3-2 at home as well. Like we said last week, what's his name? And their coach, Nuno Espirito, has gone into that West Ham team, and we can see that sometimes coaching really, really matters. And they got this win. I think this is the second win for them now in quick succession. This is a team that was rooted in relegation battle. Now that they're looking up, it looks like they're going to survive that going down. Of course, Sunderland and Arsenal played a 2-2 draw. The last game of yesterday was Chelsea beating Wolves expectedly 3-0. We're not going to really talk on that one because it was a result that was expected. If Chelsea really want to be taken seriously, they shouldn't be having any issues dispatching Wolves in that game. Today, Aston Villa beat Bournemouth 4-0, like we said. Brentford beat Newcastle 3-1. Crystal Palace and Brighton played at a 0-0 draw. Another game that was very interesting, and it was always going to be a tight game. There was nothing to divide those two teams. If there was going to be a winner, it was just going to be something of individual brilliance. Both teams really matched each other, very well. And Nottingham Forest as well played out. They beat Leeds United 3-1 at home. Sean Dyche is another team, and this is an example of what we're talking about. If you are a coach, you need to have some level of structure. It's good that fans like this football where you're open, there's excitement and stuff. But for you to win football games, there has to be some level of discipline and structure. The same Nottingham Forest, Sunrise has gone in there now. In the few games, you can see that there's a difference between going all gun blaze like Ange used to do, as opposing to what Sunrise has done with Nottingham Forest since he's gone in there, and what Nuno Espirito was doing as well before he was fired at the beginning of this season.